The humidity in the Visayas doesn't just sit on you, it breathes with you. My name is Staff Sergeant Elias Thorne, and after 10 years in the Corps, I thought I knew what savage looked like. But the Philippine jungle is a different kind of beast, beautiful, green, and completely indifferent to whether you live or die. The first 2 days were a high. Sergeant Gabriel Datuan, a scout ranger with skin like mahogany and eyes that saw through the brush, was teaching us how to disappear. We were hacking through vines, sharing stories over tinned meat, and feeling untouchable. We were elite. We were brothers. Then we pushed into the Black Cathedral, a deep mountain range the locals avoided. The jungle didn't just feel thick, it felt deliberate. Sergeant Gabriel Datuan wasn't just there to teach us how to eat heart of palm and track footprints. He had a secondary, silent mission from his command in Cebu. A string of hikers and local farmers had vanished in this specific sector over the last 6 months. They'd turn up weeks later, miles away, eyes wide and minds shattered, if they turned up at all. They call it Nawawala, Datuan whispered on the second night. Lost, but not because they don't know the way. The mountain hides the path. Day 1, the insertion. Thorne. Man, Datuan, I thought Hawaii was lush. This place looks like a movie set. Datuan, grinning. Wait until the mountain speaks back, Joe. Keep your kit tight. The spirits here don't like tourists. Thorne. Good thing I'm a professional then. Day 2, the deep trek. Datuan. We cross the ridge before sundown. We're deep now. No radio, no backup. Just the knife and the trees. Thorne. Copy that. Boys are doing great. Best training we've had all year. Day 3, 6 p.m., the first loop. Thorne. Check the clock. 1800. Sun's dipping fast. Let's set the perimeter. Datuan. Wait. Thorne. Did you hear that? The birds. They stopped. A thick, sweet smell of cigar tobacco fills the air. Thorne blinks. He is standing at the ridge again. It is 6 p.m. By the third day, the Kapre began its game. The Kapre sat invisible in the canopy of a massive balete tree, blowing thick, syrupy tobacco smoke down on us. The smoke wasn't just a smell, it was a hallucinogen. It made the trees look like they were closing in, their branches turning into long, hairy arms. At 6 p.m., the loop hit like a physical wall. The first time, it was just confusion. By the 5th time, it was psychological warfare. The creature didn't just reset the clock, it warped our senses. I'd be talking to Sergeant Gabriel Datuan, and suddenly his voice would turn into the wet, raspy growl of a predator. I'd look at my compass, and the needle would spin clockwise, faster and faster, until it glowed red-hot and burned my palm. The 15th loop, 11 p.m. Thorne. Datuan, look at the ground. The trail. It's moving. It's crawling like a snake. Datuan. Stay calm, Gabriel. It's just the exhaustion. Check the GPS. Datuan. The GPS says we're in the middle of the ocean. Elias, something is breathing on my neck. I can feel the heat. The 40th loop. 1 p.m. Thorne. Who's there? Show yourself. A deep, booming chuckle vibrates through the soil, shaking the Marine's boots. A massive, glowing ember, the size of a dinner plate, descends from the dark leaves above, hovering just out of reach. Datuan, screaming. It's him, the old man of the tree. He's feeding on our fear. The 50th loop. 3 a.m. Thorne, whispering, hysterical.
Datuan, we've been here before. We've died here a dozen times. Look at your watch. Datuan, A's glazed, pointing his rifle at shadows. They're in the trees, Thorne. Big men with glowing eyes. They're laughing at us. Thorne, no, don't fire. Gabriel, look at me. It always ended the same. At 4 a.m., a shadow taller than the trees would lean down, the cherry of a massive cigar glowing like a dying star, and the world would reset. 6 p.m., April 3rd. The Capre played us like instruments. He made Datuan see me as a skinless monster, and he made the other 4 Marines as insurgents crawling through the mud with bayonets. We spent nights screaming at shadows, firing blanks into the dark, only for the world to snap back to a peaceful golden sunset at 6 p.m. In the final waking moment of madness, I felt the Capre's influence like a heavy hand on my skull. I was burning up, the tobacco smoke filling my lungs until I couldn't breathe. I ripped my Marpat blouse off, sobbing, my skin crawling with the sensation of thousands of insects. In the pitch black, I threw the shirt back on, inside out, the rough seams scratching my chest, the collar choking my throat because it was backward. Signaling awareness. In a symbolic sense, changing your clothes indicates that you have realized you are being toyed with. The Capre's power relies on your confusion. Once you perform a deliberate, counterintuitive act like reversing your shirt, you reclaim your own reality. Elias unintentionally performs this ancient ritual. While he did it out of madness, the act was the only thing that could realign his senses with the real world, finally allowing him to see the grim reality of his dead teammates that the Capre had been hiding under the loop. The pop was instantaneous, like a bubble bursting. The smoke cleared. The giant shadow in the tree vanished into a puff of gray mist. But the mission Datuan had been sent on was finally over. I found the missing people, or what was left of them, piled in a shallow ravine nearby, and right next to them lay my team. Datuan was slumped over a log, his eyes open, staring at nothing. He had tried to finish his mission, his notebook still clutched in his hand, with one final shaky sentence: "It's not the mountain that takes them, it's the one who watches." I'm the only one who came home. But sometimes, when I'm getting dressed in the morning, I freeze with my shirt halfway over my head, terrified that if I put it on the right way, I'll look up and see those glowing red eyes waiting for me in the corner of the room.